Welcome. Thanks for joining. So let's take a minute or two to wait for others to join. And we can use this time to settle ourselves, finding a spot that we feel comfortable. So continuing to settle, dropping into the posture, dropping into this body. Perhaps asking ourselves, asking this body, what position, what posture can support us to be at ease and also to be alert, wakeful. Noticing how we are connecting to the space, connecting to the room that you are in, the surrounding, the light, the sound. The feelings coming from the chair or the floor. So we can invite this groundedness. We can invite this feeling of being at ease at home. So no matter what happens in the day, what happened earlier, we can we can welcome ourselves to arrive in this moment. And by doing so, we can be present. Being present is what we want to cultivate through mindfulness practice. Being wakeful, conscious, to really know what is happening, what is going on in this moment, not the past, not about the future, what is here, what is happening right now in the body and in the mind. We can use this space, use this pause to check in with our mind. What feelings, what emotions are we holding right now? Stress, tension, excitement, joy, or just feeling neutral. That's okay. Whatever it is, simply noticing, simply engaging. Then I'm going to ring a bell to end this grounding arrival practice. See if you can follow the sound fully. All right. So here we are. Hi, I'm Karson. So great to have you joining this Thursday Unwind Mindfulness meditation practice group. This is a weekly practice session. In this 45-minute session, we'll practice mindfulness together. So whether you are a beginner or experienced meditator, you are still welcome to join and to connect with each other in this session. And just a reminder, I'm going to record the session throughout this whole. Perhaps I will leave the last 5 to 10 minutes out because I don't want to uh, keep the sharing or the question and answer part in the recording. So hopefully other people who might be too busy to join, they can still replay and to practice. Okay, so after that check-in time, I'd like to ask and invite all of you to use the chat room to type um, what is here, what is present for you right now. You can use one or two words to describe how you are experiencing in the body and in the mind. So I'm feeling the body. I'm feeling quite good actually. I'm feeling energized because I just ate some snacks, so I feel quite energized right now in the body, and my mind is peaceful. So I'm interested to know what about you guys here. Okay, mind relaxed. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you can be honest. We can honor what is truly happening right now. So with mindfulness, we don't judge. We can we can acknowledge what is really what is truly are in this moment. So whether you are sad or happy or just just right neutral, that's fine. Yeah. Okay. Need to get relaxed. Arrived from work. Yeah. Sure. So getting off from work perhaps is a good moment for us to wind down and to get slow. Usually the day when the day gets busy, our rhythm, our pace tends to get so rapid and very speedy, and sometimes we may feel exhausted. We may feel we're catching up so many things, and that stress may come and arise inside us, and more importantly, we may miss a lot of things that happens in our life as well. We may miss a lot of moments. Those moments actually can bring us joy. So you can remember the journey when you are getting to work or getting off work. This journey perhaps you may miss, or you may forget what really happened, or you may forget the meal, the food that you had earlier, earlier in the day. So by practicing mindfulness, um, at the beginning, we tend to slow down the process. We tend to be slow enough so that we can be clear, we can be conscious, we can know what is really happening right now. But it doesn't mean that we have to be that slow all the time. So with practice, we can train ourselves to acknowledge and to be present. And with practice over time, then okay, we can try to experiment with speeding up a little bit to see if we can still be conscious and wakeful. So being mindful doesn't mean that we must be slow. So we can still be fast, but be conscious at the same time. So for people who are new to mindfulness, mindfulness basically is a way of living, a way of being. We can pay attention intentionally to the present moment experience, to what is going on, what's happening in the body, to know what is happening in the mind, to know what thoughts that we have from moment to moment. And by paying attention, we are trying to use a non-judgmental way to get to know what is happening, and also having the willingness then and the curiosity to open to all those experiences. So then we can cultivate some openness and space to be with what happens to us in our lives. So whether it is some criticism that we face during the day at our work, or some of the deadlines, something that we hate to do, or all the chores, or the tedious work that we feel the resistance, and also the procrastination. We can be with them in a gentle way. And also we can set our intention to know what is really helpful for us, what is really important to support our life, what can bring us joy, and to make a conscious choice to live our life more fully. So that's the essence and the core ideas of practicing mindfulness. And also it can help us to relax, to reduce our stress. And this is the health uh, benefits coming from the regular practice. Okay, so let's try some movement practice today. So usually, the movement practice, the core idea to practice gentle, mindful movements is to bring awareness and attention to the body, because we move a lot during the day. So we don't want to just practice mindfulness and meditation on the cushion or just on the chair, being still. We still want to have that awareness, self-awareness while we move. So that's why we want to cultivate this focus coming into the body while we practice some stretching and some yoga-like pose. And and also throughout the session, we want to bring some gentleness into it, being non-judgmental to the body, not comparing about our past experience, how the body works in the past, not comparing ourselves to other people, so that we can just take care, working with this own body in our own time and our own space. So yeah, so that's it. The main objective is not to build fitness, not to improve flexibility, but it can show up as side benefits, but it's not our core or the primary intention. So now I'd like to invite you to have your hands and arms rest naturally beside the body, beside the torso. You can open your eyes, or you can close your eyes if you feel comfortable to follow my guidance. And whenever, anytime, if you need to check what the pose looks like, then you can feel free to open your eyes and just look at the screen and to follow along. And now I'd like you to just rest your arms beside you and see if you can uh, just bring the awareness there. Oh, actually, just we can try this first. I'd like you to rub your hands, rub your palms, or you can clap your hands and just rub for like 10 seconds. Okay, so thumbs up, and then just have your hands separated and just feel and sense what is happening here between your palms. See if you can attend to these sensations without thinking, without analyzing, just being with these sensations there, and sense with your attention and awareness. Perhaps some of you may notice heat or pulsing or vibration, tingling, or you may notice nothing at all. That's fine. That's all right. But the point of this little activities to let you experience when we practice mindfulness, when we practice awareness, it's actually it doesn't take any thinking or analyzing. We just need to be there. We just need to guide awareness there and sense as best as we can. So that's the same uh, principle we can apply it to our movement practice we're going to do right now. So now we can release our hand and drop our arms down back to beside your hips. And we can continue place to place this sensation, the awareness there with our hands. And now on your next inhalation, slowly, bit by bit, just raise your arms and hands together beside you. So bring and lifting the arms up and being aware of how the body moves, how the body is working, the joints in the shoulders, the muscles in the arms, and just reach to a point that you feel is right for you. You don't have to push through your limits and just staying there for a few moments, holding and breathing. And if you like to, you can experiment with on each inhalation, just expand a little bit more and stretch a little bit more to the back and expanding, opening the chest, noticing the stretching sensations coming from the body. And then on your exhalation, you can release a little bit, coming back a little bit. And you can repeat in your own time. See if you can synchronize your breathing while you are repeating this opening and releasing movement. And then now breathing in, coming back to the neutral position and breathing out, releasing, lowering the arms bit by bit, following the gravity, following how the arms moves to the point when you feel the relaxation, the release, when you return to the starting resting position. And just take a moment again to check in the impact of this simple stretch. What has changed? Perhaps you may notice the circulation through along the arms. You may notice the energy flowing, or you may notice the temperature changes. So now we would like to do some shoulder rolls together. For some people, the shoulders can be very tense after a busy working day. So now we can work with this. We can work with the shoulders. And now we can guide our awareness to move into the shoulders, noticing the shoulder muscles, the shoulder joints. And then on your next inhalation, breathing in and squeezing up the shoulders together towards your ears. And just holding there for a few moments, breathing, holding, pausing. And then on your next exhalation, breathing out, just dropping the shoulder back, perhaps with audible exhalation, with audible sigh, having a sense of release. And then repeating one more time, breathing in, squeezing up the shoulders, just holding there. And then breathing out, dropping the shoulders. And then now, this time, when we breathe in, we lift up the shoulders, but we want to add a circular motion, circling the shoulders backward. So bring the focus into this movement. Perhaps distraction may happen. You may notice you may get distracted by sounds, by what you see, by thinking. That's okay. This is how it is. And all you need to do is to guide the attention back to the movement and see if you can sustain your focus there, concentrating on the movement, how the shoulder joints work, how the arms are working, how the muscle are tensing and releasing. And perhaps you can reverse the direction, circling forward, noticing the expansion, the opening of the chest and the shoulder blades. And then coming back down, releasing everything and being still again. Continue to be aware how the body feels. So we're gonna do a final move, the last pose, the last pose. So I'd like to sit back a little bit. So find a place you may still sit on a chair, but I want you to just extend one leg. You can keep another leg bent, the foot on the floor, let's say the left foot on the floor, and extend your right leg. So placing your right heel on the floor and keeping your right leg straight as you can. And then now we like to do a forward bend movement. Again, bring the awareness, the attention to your arms and hands. And on your next inhalation, breathing in, raising the arms overhead. So coming to the top, and then when you feel ready, breathing out and bending forward, hinging at your hips, and lowering the upper torso. And you can use your hands to grab anywhere in the right leg, the shin, the ankles, or even the right foot, and just holding there for a few moments. And continue to sustain your attention, sustain your focus in the body, experiencing what sensations you can notice, you can detect from the right leg, your lower back. Bring the curiosity to engage with this pose. And then now use your hand to walk along the right leg and continue to support the torso, the upper body to sit up. Then now you can release the right leg. You can bring it back, bring the right foot back on the floor, and just check in what shifted in the body. You may notice the energy flowing in the right leg or the tension in the muscle, the calf muscle or the thigh, the hamstring. Just breathe. Then now coming into the left leg. Now extend the left leg and place the left heel on the floor. Adjust the hips a little bit. And then now on your next inhalation, now raising the arms up together all the way to the top. And when you feel ready, breathing out, lowering the torso and the upper body and the hands resting on your left leg. And just holding, receiving, and see if you can be with these sensations, not judging them, letting go of any opinions about the body. Having a sense of acceptance, openness, opening to all that arises in this moment. And of course, not pushing through, honoring the body's limit. You can take rest anytime if you need to. And then releasing, softening, using the hands to walk, make our way back to sit up, and bring the left leg back. And to readjust the posture, coming back into a sitting posture, preparing ourselves to do the next sitting meditation. So continue to cultivate this seamless transition, seamless awareness while we practice, being present as best we can. So before we move into the next practice, I'd like to talk a little bit about last night I met a lady who was in my class, and she asked about, she mentioned something happened during her work, in her workplace. She found that she was always being so conscious. So it's not conscious, not so anxious. Yes, she had this anxiety every time she met her boss, because every time when she saw her boss, and she somehow noticed, all this criticism in the past may come up in her mind, remembering all the crazy words or the bad complaint opinions towards her performance. So then now the result was every time she met her boss, she entered the meeting room or she was preparing her presentation. She can't help herself, and she have this hopelessness and helplessness, and she was not sure what to do because this anxiety was so strong. Every time she went into the workplace, she couldn't really perform what she wanted to do, and that is was holding her back very, very, very hugely and greatly. So the things why I like to talk about this is actually this is very common. Anxiety at work or in our lives in general can be very common. The way we can work with this is to accept it. We have this anxiety because uh, of something happened in the past, because of something bad we might project, something may happen, uh, may go wrong in the future. So acknowledging it is a very, very natural human nature and also phenomenon, because we deal with something, we may feel threatened, we may feel dangerous. We want to avoid that. We want to get away from that and we want to get rid of this not comfortable feeling and fearful feeling. But with mindfulness, how we can work with this is to bring kindness to ourselves, to bring this gentleness to ourselves, to accept it is hard. It is okay to feel the fear. It's okay to um, feel this anxious. But we can remind ourselves the first thing we can do is that we can be present by acknowledging how we are so affected by the past experience, the past memories. And also at the same time, we are so affected by the something we project, we assume what might happen in the future. So all these scenarios can pull us apart. So we can remind us that we can be grounded in the present moment by channeling our attention into the present moment, into a place that is more neutral. For example, the breathing, for example, the body, to recognize what is really going on right now in the body when we feel the anxiety, what happens in the stomach, what happens in the shoulders, in the chest. And also we can guide our attention to a place where we feel still stable and comfortable. By doing so, we may shift a, maybe a very, very slight moment. Maybe it takes a couple of seconds to shift the focus in a gentle way so that we find the connection again, we find the engagement in the space again, we find the stability again. And by doing so, we can have more better chance to release the anxiety a little bit. And and also through regular mindfulness practice, we can protect ourselves from getting pulled away, getting swayed away by all those past or future thoughts and thinking. So it's it seems to be a work that we can continue to practice. So now today I'd like to introduce a practice for you, which is called mental noting. So in this meditation, I'll guide you to do and to try to bring to light every single moment what is occupying our thought, our mind. And we can pay attention to them, we can be conscious, but not changing, not fixing about all those experiences. Okay, so let's try this. Now, uh, sitting upright again, Feel free to close your eyes, or if you don't feel comfortable with your eyes closed, you can leave your eyes open with a downward soft gaze. Now acknowledging this body, acknowledging this posture, noticing the connection between the body and the chair. Being grounded. Resting in this present moment. We can turn the attention to the belly for a few moments and stay there to link up with the breathing. Noticing as we breathe, the body is working in its own way, a natural way. We don't have to intervene. And just observing how the belly rises, falls as we breathe, one breath at a time. And for the rest of the practice, whenever you feel you feel lost, you feel confused or restless, feel free to come back to the breath. To use the breath to be your anchor, your home base, to be grounded anytime you need. So now, inviting the attention to enter your mind. And see if you can try this together to pay attention to what shows up in the mind. Noticing where the attention goes to. For example, if this moment, if you notice sound, you can label in your mind silently sound or listening, hearing. And then just wait. Just wait for the next moment. If you notice what is predominant in the mind again, in your attention again, and then label it. For example, this moment, if you notice the chair, notice the buttocks, and you can label, you can note sensing or the chair. Or perhaps if in this next moment, you notice you are thinking about your work, your deadline, then you can label it thinking, remembering, or planning. So we can experiment with that. So every single moment, if you notice the mind just go away from the breath, from the breathing, then just note what pulls you away from the breath. And as I mentioned, you can always go back to the breath, to the breathing when you need to. So let's try this together in silence. Enjoy it. If you find that the mind is so busy, there are so many things to track, that's okay. You can just relax, settle back, and coming back to the breathing. If you would like to continue, you can continue to track and to observe the changing nature in the mind, in the attention. So being present. So as we continue to sit, I'd like to read you a quote. So this quote is from Jack Confield, a famous meditation teacher. Most of us have spent our lives caught up in plans, expectations, ambitions for the future, in regrets, guilt, or shame about the past. To come into the present is to stop the war. So now, expanding the awareness, releasing the mental noting or tracking action, and just finding the body again, finding the breath again. Just breathe. And just notice, following the sound, and take your time to wiggle your fingers. Bring some movement to your joints, to your wrists, to your toes, your ankles, your shoulders, taking care of yourself, answering, responding to what is needed right now in the body. And once you feel ready, you can slowly open the eyes and use your eyes, your seeing, your sight to receive light, receive colors, to connect to this space again, and to allow the awareness to include the room. All right. Thank you. Thank you for practicing together. And so perhaps we can have some time to discuss and share about what your experience. But I'd like to say thank you first because I'm going to close the recording right now. So hopefully we can have you joining next week. And thanks so much.